right, well, good afternoon. Thanks for taking some time out of your lunch. Hope everything's going, the conference is going well for you, getting some good information. So we're going to be talking about, take a few minutes here, just talk about mixed reality, field service with Dynamics, and Dynamics 365 Remote Assist. So I'm just going to be talking about really just the remote assist part. How many of y'all were in the prior session where we were talking about guides and the guides capability? That's some good, a good capability for continuing what we're talking about here. So my name is John Goodwin. I'm an architect with the MTC, with Microsoft Technology Center here in Atlanta. So what we focus on is working with customers and how can they use Microsoft technologies to solve their business issues. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about mixed reality remote assist. So I'm going to take just a few slides here to talk about what is mixed reality, what is remote assist, and then we'll do a quick demo and talk about a customer scenario. So mixed reality is the combining of digital assets with the physical world. So what we're looking at is being able to do several different types of workloads or different types of experiences with mixed reality. One of those is remote assistance, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, and using tools to help your workforce in the field. Some other things you can do is around space planning. There's a planner app that allows you to visualize, using a HoloLens, visualize the space that you're in, and then visualize how would you be placing equipment or placing objects within that space. So think of, you've got a brand new office that's empty, and you want to figure out how am I going to fit the cubes, and how am I going to fit the desk, and how am I going to fit the equipment. Or perhaps I'm planning out a warehouse or a manufacturing floor, and I have digital images or digital replicas of my plant equipment. How is that going to fit? And then as I walk through there and as I interact with the environment, how am I going to be able to maneuver, or am I going to have space to work in that area? Others is around training. So that's what guides, what we just saw was a good example of training scenarios where people can go through doing things, whether it's perhaps in a dangerous environment or perhaps it's a very expensive equipment that you're training on. It's not easy to have a piece of equipment set aside just for people to learn on. So guides and digital experiences using the HoloLens is a good way of, or using mixed reality is a good way to train your personnel. Collaboration is an excellent scenario, and that's right along with what we're going to be talking about today around remote assist. How do I bring people who are physically separated together to work together to solve problems? And then finally, spatial insight. And this is similar to the spatial planning, but this is how do I gain data and gain information from the environment that I'm operating in. Again, maybe I'm in a manufacturing facility or I'm in a place with lots of equipment. That facility or that equipment is generating IoT data perhaps. I can use that information into my spatial insight. So as I'm walking around with a HoloLens, perhaps as I look at a QR code on a piece of equipment, that can tell the system to go out and return back the IoT data associated with that running piece of equipment. That way, perhaps I'm a technician and I can see the flows and see that everything is operating in the green as I'm walking through the plant, or if I need to be looking at particular pieces of equipment. And we see this across all the different environments, of whether it's manufacturing, whether it's retail, whether it's even financial services and education. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. So when we talk about remote assist, very similar to what we were talking about with guides earlier, in that as the workforce ages, as experience starts to age out of the workforce and the knowledge and the experience gets concentrated in fewer and fewer hands, how do we train the new folks coming in, or how do we make them able to do their jobs more efficiently and get them up to speed and get them in the field faster? So how do we help technicians, for example, solve problems with the help of remote experts? So that's where remote assist comes into play as a way of having fewer experts that can't be everywhere all the time, but you can put technicians in the field and make these experts available to them wherever they may be. Managers walk in the job site without being on site. Perhaps you have a requirement for safety reviews, or perhaps you have oversight, or maybe it's a construction job where you have from time to time reviews that need to take place. Well, your architects and your engineers can't always be at every site, or you don't want them to have to travel to every location, perhaps because of distance. How do we make it able to do this? And so remote assist comes into play. And then bringing information into view. How can we, again, work maybe share information, collaborate around problems, and work together. And when we talk about different industries, obviously manufacturing is one that comes to mind when we talk about assistance. Manufacturing in terms of, I have facilities located around the world. I've got a customer example we'll give at the end that has facilities all around the world, some very remote, some very difficult to get to, and there's going to be times when they need experts on either physically or virtually on site in very short notice. How do we do that? How do we deliver that information? In retail scenarios, we have scenarios where maybe we have field technicians who are installing solutions. I'm thinking in particular of a retailer who sells kitchen remodels and things like that, and working with the field, working with people who are in the house perhaps installing the kitchen that they just bought from me. How can we work with the designer without having to send the designer out to every location? In government, it's very similar to the manufacturing. It can be scenarios like disaster relief or facilities. Think of water plants and sewer plants, things like that. Again, very similar to the manufacturing. Healthcare comes to mind when you think about things like telemedicine or teledoctors. Rural scenarios where you may have a clinic that may have a physician's assistant, may have a doctor on site, but they may not be an expert in every scenario. Being able to remotely reach out and pull in a doctor, maybe an expert in a field, to look in and consult on a case without having to travel, either the patient traveling to, let's say, the city of Atlanta from rural Georgia, or being able to consult on that case without the doctor having to travel down. In education, education's been a mixed reality for a while in terms of being able to have students learn and work on, let's say, an anatomy class in dealing with the skeletal or dealing with a virtual body. So lots of education examples where you may have students who, again, who are a remote location who can reach back and work with an instructor. And then financial services, a lot of people think financial services, where does mixed reality come into play? Where does remote assist come into play in a financial services scenario? But think about it in insurance and having insurance claims. Many times you may have, let's say, commercial claim scenarios where you need multiple different experts to be able to take a look at a claim problem. Maybe it's a building failure or equipment failure, and you want to have legal experts, you want to have technical experts, engineering experts to be able to consult and take a look at a problem and provide feedback in real time without having to travel there. So all of these are examples of a quick demo. So we've talked about remote assist in terms of the HoloLens and being able to put a HoloLens on a technician in the field. I think a lot of people have probably seen the demos around that. We've also now introduced remote assist for the mobile device. So right now it's on the Android. It is coming to the Apple platform. I just don't have a timeline for that yet. But with remote assist, I have access to, for example, my contacts on my Teams. And I was trying to get my sharing to work, and it's not working on this network at this point. But let's go ahead and start a call real quick. So if I am the expert back at the office, and I'm the technician in the field with my Android phone, I can just initiate a call. There we go. And from this call now, within my Teams client, I have access to what the technician in the field is seeing with their remote device. So now I can see everybody in real time who's coming through. Again, as the technician in the field, we'll use this stream deck as my example. And I'll try to hold it steady so you don't get seasick from watching. It's much more difficult to do that with the HoloLens on your head, I'll tell you. Let's say I want to mark, this is the object that I'm looking at, that I'm dealing with. You know, I can draw a pin on it, and my wandering finger. And the flip side is, as the expert or as the expert back in the office, I can also come in here and I can annotate. Let's see if it'll let me start editing. And oh, the demos gods are not smiling on me. Let's just try it one more time real quick. But essentially, right now, it'll allow you to do a one-on-one call with a team member or expert back in the office. It will allow the expert to, like I said, annotate, provide information, provide documents and files. So if I was the expert and I had a guide or had a reference document, I could bring that up and show that to the person on their device remotely, and they can work with that. So what will be coming eventually is the ability to record those sessions. We don't have that at this point, but eventually once you can record it, you'll be able to record it, and you'll be able to, if you're working, let's say, with the field service mobile client, be able to also link that remote session to a, let's say, a case within Dynamics and have it annotate back into that. That's not here yet, but that is on the roadmap, and that's should be here shortly. So, one of the things I mentioned, a customer scenario, is I was going to bring this one up as this is a great example of a customer who's actually using Remote Assist in the real world. And this is actually, you can see the source reference, this is actually off the Chevron site themselves. They recorded this and put this out. And I like the way their tagline is. They're using how we learn from NASA and the HoloLens team to make virtual teleportation a reality. So, in case you didn't know, one of the first users of the HoloLens has been NASA, and they've actually got a couple of them up on the space station. And they're using it for many of the same scenarios. It's kind of hard to send an expert up there, but if you need a scenario where you need to be able to let somebody watch what you're doing in real time and your hands be free and operate, and that's what they're doing here. And what Chevron has done is they've taken, and if you got time, I recommend going to the source and watch their video. But what they've done is they've taken the HoloLens, they've got a couple of hundred of them right now, and they're hoping to expand to several thousand, distribute those around the globe. Again, scenarios where oil fields, rigs, etc., where you can't get an expert quickly, but sometimes you need that expertise to be available there. And so spreading that out through Remote Assist and the HoloLens, and eventually with the mobile device, being able to put that in the field. Same thing with remote inspection. So after work gets completed, the ability to come in remotely and inspect the work that was done and provide a safety review as needed. So again, it's a way of expanding your workforce or making your workforce more readily available without having to send people around. So the last piece is, so the Remote Assist that I just showed with the mobile device on the Android, you can try it for yourself for free for 90 days. I got the long URL there, but if you go to dynamics.microsoft.com and search for Mixed Reality Remote Assist, you can actually go in and try it out yourself. And if you want to learn more, there's the link for that as well. So, and I think that will about wrap it up, unless there's any questions, or I'll be available off to the side if there are. Thank you. Thank you.